There you see Bob Griese. It's NFL season, folks. The NFL is back. First game last night, Sunday, the first full slate of games. A new champion will be crowned in February. Someone will raise the Lombardi Trophy. But you know what? Everyone raises the Lombardi Trophy. Someone does it every year. Right. There's only one thing that one team has done that no one else has ever done. 40 years ago, this season, the Miami Dolphins went 17-0, won the Super Bowl. Nobody else has done that. We have with us a quarterback of that team, Bob Griese, NFL Hall of Famer, two-time Super Bowl winner, and author. I'll hold up the book here for you, folks. Author of the book Perfection, on the occurrence, the 40th anniversary of that one. Bob, you know, it's interesting. I think as time goes on, that achievement really becomes more and more legendary, especially when you see teams come closer and closer to it. What was it about the 72 Dolphins that got you there?
You know, I think the main driving force is that we lost the Super Bowl the year before. Mm-hmm. And Coach Shula, that was the second Super Bowl that he had lost. He had lost one at Baltimore, mm-hmm. and then he lost the one in 1971 at that season. And so he was on us right after the game.
Right,
and
then you guys and the Cowboys.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. The Cowboys. We played a terrible game. We got beat 24-3. Mm-hmm. We didn't even show up. So after the game, in the off season and training camp, and all through the season, it was nose to the grindstone. Don't let up. Make sure you beat every team. It wasn't so much about going undefeated. It's just that we didn't want to lose a game.
Yeah. You know what I thought was interesting? In the beginning of your book, you mentioned that Coach Shula, in the first meeting of training camp, actually talked about an undefeated season. Which, you know, it's funny because one of my questions was going to be, when did you think you could do this?
Well,
were you really thinking about it that early?
Yeah, Zonka's comment when Shula when Shula said we want to win every game, we got to go undefeated. Zonka was sitting there and says, "This guy really is crazy." You know, nobody thought it was never let's go undefeated. Mm-hmm. It was always let's just don't lose this game. Right. And we didn't think. Like later in the year, there was only 14 games in the regular season back then. And when we were 10-0 and 11-0, we still didn't think, hey, we want to go undefeated. It was that thing in our mind about losing the Super Bowl the year before. We want to be focused, go into the playoffs, and win the Super Bowl in 72. Whether we lost one game or whether we lost no games, right. The focus was not going undefeated. The focus was winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, some of those games were very close. You played close games against the Bills and the Jets. Yeah. Some of the other ones were blowouts. At what point, was it late in the season where you actually did start thinking about going undefeated? Was that in the back of your head?
No, never. And it was such talk like Jim Langer, our Hall of Fame center, and Bob Kuchenberg were in lifting weights one day. And we were like 12-0, maybe 10-0, and they were lifting weights, and it's in the book, and it says Langer says to Cooch, he says the Giants, we played the Giants this week, and the Giants weren't very good. Back then. And he said, well, you think we can go undefeated? And the guy said, no, we can't go undefeated. Well, who's going to beat us? The Giants? Well, no, the Giants, they ain't going to beat us. And then they had Baltimore the following. Baltimore, the Colts, well, they can't beat us. We're not going to lose to Baltimore. So they went through each team and didn't think we'd lose each one separately, and we shouldn't have, and we didn't. And so it was that old cliche, one at a time. Yeah. And, by the way, we're undefeated. Well, if we did it, somebody else is going to do it, and nobody has.
That's a good question. I mean, it's 40 years. Couple of teams have come close recently. Yeah. Do you think it actually is possible to do it again, to repeat it?
It's going to be very tough because nowadays, when anybody gets like Green Bay last year, when they got to 10-0 and then 12-0, the pressure was on them, and they went to Kansas City, and Kansas City wasn't a very good football team, and Kansas City beat them. There's so much attention now. If you do go to 14-0 and you've got everything wrapped up, the question to the players will be from the media, and the head coach will be, well, are you going to try and go undefeated, or are you going to save your players and not get them injured and save them for the playoffs? Right.
Well, let's talk about some of the issues around the league today. I want to talk to you. Actually, I want to ask you about the issue of player safety. Right, there was a story just say NFL donated about $30 million towards brain trauma research. Do you think the league is doing enough now to protect players and to take care of some of the old players, players from your generation?
I think that's what's going on right now. With all the rules that have been changed in the last few years, the protective of a unrestricted receiver coming across the middle. You can't hit him high. You can't hit him in the helmet. That is a big. The kickoffs now are they moved them back up to the 35, so they won't be these collisions that they used to have. The NFL is doing. There's better equipment nowadays. In the old days, we had the Rydell helmets, and there was other helmet manufacturers, but we had the best there was. We didn't. There was nothing better for us to wear. Exactly.
Hey Bob, what do you make about the replacement refs? First game last night with them. They're going to be there this Sunday. What do you make of them?
You just have to make do with the best that you have. That's all. I mean, I feel for the officials that the NFL officials that are not out there. They pension and salary, I think, are the two big issues. And, the league is bigger. Back when we played, it was smaller. And the reason it's bigger is because of television. Back then, you got one game each weekend. Remember that?
I do.
You had one
we had
game
two because I lived in New York with the Giants and the Jets.
Well, exactly. We got one Sunday. Now you've got five channels carrying games.
All right. Bob Griese, thank you very much. The book is called Perfection, 40 Years After the Perfect Dolphin Season. Thanks for coming by, Bob. Appreciate it. Everyone, that is the show.